Hi everyone, I'm Talia, and today I'm going to show you techniques for drawing a mandala. Okay, so if you're new to my channel, mandalas are pretty much my favorite spread, and I do them every month as a mood tracker. The reason I wanted to make this video is because I think a lot of people think that the mood mandala requires a lot of artistic talent and is really hard to do, but if I can do it, I swear anyone can do it. I am not that artistic. So once they're finished, they look something like this, and they change month to month. So let me show you what my first mandala looked like. I learned about them in February in the middle of the month, so I kind of did a half-page mandala, and I'll show you what that one looks like even though I'm kind of embarrassed. Okay, so that is my first attempt at a mandala, and there's a lot of weirdness going on, and it was so bad that I let my daughter color over it because it just wasn't worth treasuring. So this is in February, and let me show you my March mandala. So as you can see, my March one was already vastly improved. I started getting much better very quickly. And so that's what I'm going to help you guys do, kind of jump to the secondary phase, and then they just kind of change and evolve as you learn more tips and tricks. So here's my next one. I kind of fell off the bandwagon in the middle of the month on that one, but I really liked how that one was looking, very pretty. And then this was my May. Loved it. And I'm like 3 days away from being done with my June one, so I'll show you that one as well. Here it is. So they all look different, and that's kind of the fun of them, but they're all beautiful, and so I love them so much, so that's why I wanted to show you tips and techniques for how you can do them. I have my Rodya Dot Grid Pad, and I set up a bunch of these in advance because it takes a little while to set up. If you don't know how to set one up, I do have a video. I am linking it. You can watch that video. So you'd have your colors. I'm just going to use these ones because these are the ones I grabbed. And on the first day, all you would do is color in the center with whatever color that this mood represents. And it doesn't have to be a mood tracker. You could track anything you want. So that's all you would do for the day. And then you take any black pen you want and you draw on it. So for this one, I'm going to make slightly bigger leaves. I'm going to use 2 of them. And then I'll use these 2 right here. Just making leaves. And it usually helps if you turn it, so I'm going to rotate it. And this is a lot easier in the little journal than it's going to be on this big pad of paper, but you get the idea. There, and that would be all you would do for the day, is just make some leaves. Now I'm going to color some more of these in, and I'm going to show you some more leaves. So I'll just do those couple rings for now. And I know I'm using the Tombos, but I think I've mentioned this before. Really, any color will, any kind of marker will do. And these ones are my favorite, the Crayola Super Tips. They're my favorite to just buy because they're cheap and they work great and they're easy to replace. Because for some reason, this is kind of a weird thing, when you take the cap off, and like it dries out a little bit, it'll come back, but it comes back as a darker color. It's the weirdest thing. Maybe I'll show you. Yes, so this pink here, this kind of bright pink, I used it for Grateful in this spread, and then I think I switched it to Frustrated. It turned into this. This is the same marker. So it went from a dark pink to a red, and here it is in the band. My daughter took the cap off of it and I didn't notice it until it got kind of dry, and so it came back and I colored with it and it still works, but it's a completely different shade. It's the weirdest thing. Anyway, so sometimes I'll even leave it like I did here with the colors, and I'll do you know, a couple leaves at a time. So we're going to make this one just kind of an example of types of leaves. Okay, and I'm going to just draw circles around them. Some of them can build on each other, so. And then we can do a type of leaf that is kind of a point. So it comes there and goes to a point. And I don't worry about if they're perfect because they're not gonna be. So this is a type of leaf. So I did the long skinny leaf and then the long, and then the short pointed leaf. Okay, so there's our short pointed leaf, and there's also circle leaves. You can do them on a flat surface or you can do them on top of the leaf. I think I'll do both right now just to show you guys what they look like. So I'll do kind of a round leaf on there. You can build leaves on top of leaves. Leaves, or you could have done the same type of leaf, the pointed leaf, and then it just gives it a deeper effect. Okay, and then I'm going to do just the rounded leaves by themselves, but you can put them on a base by themselves. I know this seems like it's taking a long time, but this is what, 1, 2, 3, 4 days worth of leaves. So you would never do this all on one day unless you hadn't done it for 4 days and then you found yourself some time. So it seems like a lot, but it's really not that labor intensive. So I'm going to jump over to this one and show you kind of the other things. One of the things I like to do are bands. So I'm just going to draw a little pink in this circle. And the last kind of leaf I forgot to mention is kind of an off-centered leaf. Like these ones are using the lines, but you can give one kind of a curve to it. So for example, I'm going to make a slightly bigger one. Let me close this off so it doesn't look weird. I'm a little more meticulous when I do this myself because I'll turn it. It's kind of hard to do it without turning it. So we'll do kind of crooked on this side and then it goes bigger on this side, so it's a little off center. And now it looks like it's got kind of a spin going to it because it's a little off. It's not centered. Okay, so as I said, we're going to do borders now, and so I'm just going to draw these in a bunch of bands. So in the center you would never have a border because it's a big circle for starters. But after that you get into the outside borders, and I don't know if I want to color them. I'm coloring light colors so you guys can see it, because if I do the dark colors, sometimes it's not the easiest. And I like to use those bands to try something new, because if it doesn't look quite right, usually it's kind of hidden by the fact that you used a deep purple. Okay, so over here I just did the lines real quick to show you the leaves, but over here I'm going to show you borders. So if I had some kind of flower in here, and I'll just kind of doodle it real quick. It doesn't look very pretty. But something like that in the middle, and then you decide to do a border, is I meticulously go around, follow my compass line. And then what you do in the border depends. You can do some kind of a shape. I've done little spirals in each. And this kind of breaks up the leaves. So you'd put it on the outside of a leaf where you like did multiple layers, like here, and you couldn't go anymore. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because when it comes all together it looks really good. Okay, so then you have a spiral loop. Or another one of my favorite loops is just to put leaves in them. So you can do just the leaves like that. And it's sandwiched in between. So that one's kind of a border right there, sandwiched in between. Or I'm just going to come out here and do some more. I've done stripes before. You kind of just go with the lines, and you can do some in the middle. And it ends up being kind of like a wheel. And a few more borders or dividers you could do would be things like shapes. You could use circles. And then I just put one in the middle, around the line, in the middle, around the line, in the middle, around the line, and in the middle, all the way around there. And you could do triangles. So again, you could do one on the line, on the line, on the line, and then go back and do the middle. And it doesn't have to be triangles all the way through. You could mix it up, do something different in the middle, do some triangles for a border, and then do a diamond in the middle. And then you'll have another triangle over here, and then another diamond in the middle. And then you make a border that way. Or you could even do hearts. If you're into hearts, you could do hearts in the middle. You could switch it up, do a heart and then a diamond, and then this would be a heart. And then a diamond. Oops. Got a little crooked there. That's why we turn it. Hard to drive from the side. Okay, so these are all the kinds of different borders you can do. It's just a bunch of shapes. I mean, there's a million different things. You could do curlicues throughout the whole thing and just turn it as you're making them. And if you don't feel like doing loops, you could even do curls up and down. I'll turn it the other way so you can see the curls up and down. We could start at the top here and go to the bottom. They're more like waves. Waves is what I meant to say. Could do that as a divider. All the way around. The real key, I think, is probably the embellishments. So let's do kind of a bigger mandala right here, and then I'll show you some embellishments on it. I'm going to use my super tips to color these just to show you. I'm getting the pastel ones. I have brighter colors in the super tips. There's 50 of them, but I like to use the pastels because I already have the bright colors in the tombos. So I grabbed these pastels because I don't have a pastel pack of tombos. So here we go. Okay, so I think this is enough color, so I'm gonna just dive into doing the mandala. And like I said, remember, keep in mind, You're doing this day by day, you're not doing this all at once. So I'm throwing in time lapses, but it really doesn't take that long when you're just doing one band at a time. So at this time I want to start talking about embellishments, and some of the embellishments I like to do are dots, shading, sticks, swirls, and shade lines. So examples of sticks can be like a little piece of a flower or like a stick that comes out up and swirls. So I'm going to do both of them right here. So I'll alternate. So we do a swirl here, and then one with a circle here, and then a swirl here, and then one with a circle here. Okay? And you don't have to alternate them. You could do swirls all the way around. Sometimes I think that effect works a little bit better. But I'm tutorialing right now, so I'm going to show you all the tricks, everything I got. So those are the sticks I like to use. Another thing I like to do is shade lines. So for example, I could do for these leaves, you can do little kind of shading to them. So I'm making just little leaf striations. I draw the line in the center and just diagonals off to the side. And you don't have to do all of them. You could have alternated them, leave some of them open, or whatever you want to do. And then after you do something like that, this is a good spot for a border. So we talked about borders, and that's for like when you can't really build on it anymore. Because see, I did 3 layers here. I had the circle leaves, the bigger leaves, and then a bunch of jutting out sticks. So usually after 3 or 4 layers you're done and you want to do kind of a border. Oh, and also I forgot about like dots and shading. Like up here you could do like a little dot thing coming out of the leaves so it looks like it's part of the leaf. Do it kind of triangular, looks a little better. So that's one thing you can do with dots. Another thing you could do is go around. I've done dots going up the leaf like this. Just adds extra depth to it. And if I had an extra layer, sometimes I've even done them on top of these swirlies coming out of there, like as if it's, you know, a stamen on a plant. And let's do some kind of a border here. One of my favorite borders is to kind of alternate a circle and then a stem. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. I do a circle with an interior circle and then a stem. Circle, interior circle, and then a stem. And now I'm going to do a kind of a swirl. And then on top of those, I'm going to draw a leaf. So I showed you swirls, and now I'm going to show you some shading. Shading is, there's a lot of different things you can do with it. And you can also go back a couple layers, so if there's something that you haven't shaded, you can shade at any time to give it more, I think it gives it more depth. So I'm going to start with this line. And this is something I'll do quite often. I'll go back into the layers to do something else I think of down the line. And I'm going to go ahead and do another layer here with the same leaf. So I can get some more shading in to show you guys, because it's going to have a pretty look. So see, sometimes I just like it more when I overwork it. And as you can see, when I was shading around here, all I was doing was following the line. But it seems to me like it gives it more depth than stay over here where I didn't do any shading. It kind of looks flat to me. It's not very three-dimensional. The shading kind of makes things rise and things fall. So I got the shading. So that is all I have for you guys today. I hope that this video was helpful. I hope that it made it seem easier to you. It inspired you to try to do your own mandalas, because I mean, as you can see here, I'm not exactly an artist and everything doesn't work out perfect. It speaks for itself when you see that in 1 month I went from something that looked like this to something that looked like this. This is already vastly improved, and I feel like it just keeps getting better and better. Like, I really liked how this outer layer turned out. Some of the inner layers might have been a bit lacking, but I really like this outer layer. So if this made things easier for you, or you would like to try a mandala after watching this video, give me a thumbs up and do subscribe, because I have a video coming out every week. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.